Psalm 46, verses 1 through 11. It said, God is our refuge and strength, and very present help in trouble. Therefore will we not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and trouble, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, there is a river, the stream whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen rage, the kingdoms are moved. He uttereth his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolation he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen, and I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And the Lord, where the Lord is already blessed, you can have your seats. And as a topic that we're going to pay into this text, God is in the midst. God is in the midst. There are times and seasons in life when we're faced with things that causes us to question if God is on our side or if he really cares. Like the disciples when they was in the storm on the sea, and God comes to the rescue and quickly tell them and tell the sea to come. But before Jesus comes the sea or comes the storm, the disciples yells out and say, Master, do you care that we are about to die? God comes to the rescue quickly, and then there are times when God delays his response. And during these times, we may wonder, God, where are you? Or can I say, God, where you at? God, where are you? Or God, where are you at? You are taking too long. I know you see me going through this, and I know you see me going through that. I know you see what they're doing to me, and I know you see how they're talking about me. God, where are you at? And we say this sometimes as if it really puts us in a position to where God comes to our rescue quickly. But I'm here to tell us today that sometimes God don't come when we want him to come or when we need him to come, but when he shows up, he's still on time. We said that song so many times. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. He may not come when you want him, but he's still on time. Because when he shows up, that's the right time. God does not operate in our time and in our seasons, but God operates when he wants to, and he comes to the rescue just how he wants to and when he wants to do it. Psalm 46 is a song of the sons of Korah, or the choir director, the sons of Levi, or the son of Levi, who was the son of Jacob. And Korah served as a temple musician. The writer of this song is unknown. Some suggest that Ezekiel, a godly man, was the one that wrote this song just after Jerusalem was besieged by the Assyrian army. Then there are some theologians that say that this song is called the Martin Luther song because he would sing this song when he was in trouble. When he found himself by himself, when he found himself being disheartened, when he found himself being in a state of sadness, when he found himself being dispirited, this song This song described a writer by the writer when he was in crisis. And this song does not start out like any other song, but this song begins talking about God's provision. The psalmist is in this text telling us, y'all, he's telling us who God really is, not by somebody telling him who God was, but he's telling us who God is by experience. Has anybody in this place of today ever had an experience with God, and you can remember the day, the time, and the hour when God showed up on time? Yeah, this song, he starts out by saying, first of all, he said, God is my refuge and strength. And he's a very present help in the time of trouble. Listen, I'm here to tell us today that wherever we are, whatever we're doing, whatever's going on in our life, God is our refuge and our strength. God is the person that we can run to for safety, and God is the person that we can run to for protection. I don't know anybody that will serve somebody, that will follow somebody if you don't feel secure. That's one of the things that causes our wise men to follow us or to trust her or to be loved or to love us the way that they love us. Why? Because they feel secure. If you know something, what I need from you is security. I didn't say understanding, but what I need from you is to make sure, is to know that you're going to protect me when I need some protection. That's what the psalmist said. He said, God is the place that I run to for protection. He's the place that I run to. Why? Because he is my shelter and my strength. The way that the word refuge is used here in this text, church, it is used as a place of safety and protection, and it is a place that cannot be penetrated. That's right. Yeah, he said, God is a place that I can run to that the enemy cannot penetrate and get through. Why would the writer say this? He said it's because God has proven himself over and over and over again. Listen, all creatures, all creation, when they are in distress, they have to find a place to run to where they can feel safe. You know, that's just like the rabbit. You know, I find myself looking at these reels, you know, of rabbit hunting. You know, and I don't know why I find myself getting so fascinated about it, but one thing that I noticed is that the hunter is out there with his dogs. And he sends the dog out, drops him off, and he says, go. And they take off, and they are sniffing and finding, trying to find the scent. But one thing that I noticed about the rabbit, even though he hears the dogs coming, he hears trouble coming, he don't just stay in one place. That rabbit begins to run and zigzag over here, over there, and sometimes he even run back into his hole. That hole for the rabbit is his refuge. That is a place of safety. I'm here to tell somebody this, it don't matter what's going on in the world right now, God is a refuge, and he is a place that we can run to for safety. He's a place that we can run to, not only for safety, but he is the same person, and he is the same place that we can run to and get strength. Just when we feel like that we can't make it. The writer reminds us, he encourages us, God is a refuge. God is my shelter. God is my protection. And when I need strength, God is my strength. That's it. Not only that, he says, but God is a very present help in trouble. That word present means he is existing right now. That means whatever is going on right now, God is a very present help in times of trouble. That means that God is there right where we are at. When you're up, he's there. When you're down, he's there. He's a very present help in time of trouble. The way that the writer used that phrase, it said that God is actively working in the here and the now. Even though we can't see God working or we can't feel God working, but God is actively working in the here and the now. That's what I love about God, y'all. believer. Because when we are going through, we got to know who we can run to, and we got to know where we can find God in the midst of it all. The writer says that a very present help in a time of trouble. That's what I love about God. God does not operate from a distance. God does not operate from afar off. But the God that we serve is an up close and personal God. That means God will come where you are at. And he will let you know, hey, you know you can't see me, but he's whispering in your ear, or he's giving you some type of confidence, and he said, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Don't you worry. I'm here. Don't be afraid. I am here. And the writer says, listen now, he said, therefore will we not fear. Because I know God is a very present help in the time of trouble. In other words, I got nothing to be afraid about. Amen. What do I have to fear when I know that God is present? And when his presence is sent, I can go to him and he will protect me. Yeah, God does not work from a distance, but God works up close and personal, and he reassures us that, hey, I'm here. All you got to do is just trust and believe in me, and don't get so focused on what you see, but focus on who you know. Don't get so focused on what you see, but focus on who you know, because the person who you know will make the difference in your life and in your situation. Yeah, very present help in the time of trouble. That's where God is at. He's in the midst. He's right there in close. And the word midst means this, is that he's in the middle. He's in the center of it all. God is a close proximity God, and God is so close to us that when he manifests himself, he reassures us that everything's going to be all right. I'm pretty sure that some of us have noticed and found God to be an up close and personal God a couple of weeks ago. When it seemed like that everything wasn't going to change, it seemed like that the government wasn't going to open back up. God showed himself and said, hey, even though they don't took your money, even though you ain't working, but guess what? I'm still here. I'm still protecting you. I'm still providing for you. I'm still where I am right where I've been from the beginning. That's where he says God is our refuge and our strength. We don't got to worry, y'all. He said, the writer said, I have nothing to fear. This is what the Amplified Version says of verses 2 and 3. It says, therefore we will not and shall not be afraid. Though the earth shakes, be removed, and though the mountain be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and are troubled, though the mountains shake, with the swelling thereof, I ain't got nothing to worry about. Because I go back to verse 1. Because God is my present help. That word, though, is speaking futuristic, y'all. When I was doing my study, I was trying to figure out why was the writer saying that God is there. I ain't got nothing to fear. Because when you jump down to verse 4, it talks about the rivers flowing in Jerusalem. During that time, there was no river in Jerusalem. They had streams around it, but there was no river because there was no stream in the actual city. So what the writer was saying, he said, even though there is no life-giving water in the inside of the city, but there is life-giving water on the outside of the city, and because I can't see it right now, and because I know that God is going to make a way, I'm going to tell you in 2025 who God is, because I've tried and I know him to be a river in dry places. Yeah. In other words, he's saying that God is our refuge and our strength. We have got nothing to be afraid of. We will not fear God. We will not fear because God, our help, is greater than our circumstances. I don't got nothing to be afraid of when I know that God is greater than my circumstances. God is greater than OG&E. God is greater than Dodge The writer said in verse 4, as I just said, he says, there is a river where the streams thereof shall be made glad, and the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. Like I said, there was no rivers in Jerusalem, but the writer was speaking futuristically. And he was saying that there are rivers, I see rivers, and in the city, in that city of God, that's where it's going to be peaceful at. Why? Why is it going to be peaceful in a city with no water in it? That means what he's saying is that even though we are lacking something life-giving, we have a God that gives all life. And because God is there and his presence is there, I'm going to be all right. We're going to be all right, church, because it is in the presence of God. The Bible says it is the fullness of joy. Yeah. The holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. Verse 5, it says, God is in the midst of her, and she shall not be moved. He's talking about that city, y'all. Right. That city that don't got no life, giving water. That city that is surrounded by enemies. That city that don't look like they're going to survive. The writer says, God is in the midst of her, and she shall not be moved. Lord have mercy. I'm trying to get us to understand today, church. God is trying to get us to understand that when his presence is among us, all this other stuff, it really does not matter when the presence of God is around us. Listen, that's why the presence of God has got to be around us. Even better yet, the presence of God has got to be in you. What good is having the presence around you when the presence of God is not in you? See, because it don't matter where I go. When I carry the presence of God, or when I carry God, his presence, his power, his protection, and his love go with me. So that means, listen, y'all, some of y'all know I work up at the VA, right? Listen, when I carry around the presence of God, I can go to work, sit in my bus, and be at peace. Why? Because God is he's in the midst of me. Yeah. When people get on that when you do their attitudes and don't want to talk and they feel entitled, I'm at peace. Why? Because I got the peace giver on the inside of me. My question today is, do anybody in here have the peace giver on the inside? That's what we call him, the Prince of Peace. I'm going to preach myself happy here. He is the Prince of Peace. Whatever I need God to be, that's who he is. And his presence reassures me that I'm going to be all right. Amen. His presence reassures me that things may not look good right now, but if I just hold on to this end, if I just hold on to what I know about him, he's going to make everything all right. All right. When it talks about the city of God, it's talking about the presence of God. Listen, church, we've got to make sure that we make time to get into the presence of God. Lord have mercy. The only way that we are going to be able to survive and the only way that we're going to make it is that we have the presence of God around us and in us. God's presence, y'all, reassures us. God's presence confirms. God's presence lets the devil know that, hey, even though you're trying to take them out, but I'm here to tell you that because I am in close proximity, you can come close, but you can't destroy it. All we got to do is just ask Job. Job found himself in a bad situation, but he was in a good place. He was in a bad situation, but he was in a good place. Well, how can Job can lose everything, got boils on his body, sick, about to die, but he's still in a good place? It's because Job did not know the conversation that God had with the devil. God told the devil, listen, you can have him, but you can't take his life. Whatever you do, you can get close, but you can't destroy him. And Job found himself questioning God, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. God, like I said earlier, God, I don't serve you. God, I don't pay my tithes. God, I don't read my Bible. God, I don't gave to the poor. But yet and still, I find myself where I'm going But Job said he got to a place where he was trying to figure out what has he done. Friends don't walk away from him. And the very person that is supposed to be encouraging him, she tells him, "Cuss your God and die." Wait a minute, woman. You're supposed to love me. You're supposed to be the one to encourage me. You're supposed to be telling me, "Hey, baby, it's going to be all right. God is your God. God's going to take care of us. God's going to work out us." But the same one that is supposed to comfort you was the same one that was telling him, "Curse your God and die." Listen, sometimes you got to tell people that tell you, just forget about God. There is no God. Don't worry about God. You know what? Everything that you have acquired it on your own. But listen, I'm here to tell you, it's not so, baby. If it had not been for the power and the strength of God, I wouldn't have nothing. If God had not woke me up this morning to get to put my clothes on, to brush my teeth, listen, I would not have nothing. Sometimes you got to tell people, listen, be quiet. Because you don't know what you're talking about. And after that conversation, you never hear about Job's wife again. That's why we got to be careful, y'all, putting our mouths on people. That's why we got to be careful talking about people. Listen, you don't know how people got in that predicament, and because you don't know, the best thing to do is to be quiet and pray for them. You don't know why that woman is acting the way that she's acting. And because you don't know, it's the best thing to do is be quiet. Listen, you don't know that she was molested by her father, or she was molested by her uncle, or she was molested by her cousin. But when we look at her, you look and she's crazy, but you don't know. Listen, if some of these people will begin to talk and begin to talk about what they have went through, you will recognize that God kept them in the midst of it all. That they had not been for God's love and power, they would be somewhere. Yeah, that's why we got to be careful. We got to be careful, church. We got to be careful because God has brought people through many dangerous calls itself. God has brought people through some rough and some traumatizing events, but God is still God. Yeah. It says, the writer says, God will help her because he is greater than our crisis. He is greater than our trouble. He is greater than our problem. Nothing and nobody is greater than God. Amen. The writer says this city is a safe city because God is in the midst of her, and not only is he in the midst of her, but he is helping her. I love this. When God is in the midst of us, and God is not just sitting there idly by, but God is involved in our affairs. Lord have mercy. I could be going through something. I'm about to lose my mind, pull my hair out, losing sleep. Don't know what to do. But something comes over me. Something comes over me. And when something comes over me, I am real sure that God is present. And not only is God present, but God is working in the midst of my affairs. I'm here to tell somebody today, what you're going through now, God is working in the midst of it. And he is doing what needs to be done. Amen. Listen, y'all, the writer says, as he's speaking futuristically now, he goes to verse 8 and he begins to exalt God. He said, God will be exalted in the earth. Yes. Though not only he be exalted, but God will make everything come to a calm. God will make everything come to a calm. He will make the war stop, and he will also break the weapons. Talk about the bows now and the spear. He will also make the weapons. He will break them, and he will burn their chariots in the fire. Listen, y'all. This writer is speaking futuristically as to what's to come. Listen, we think it's rough now, but keep on living a little while longer. Keep on living just a little while longer. You think it's rough now, just keep on living. It's going to get worse than it it already is. If we were about to pull our hair out, if we were about to lose our mind just a couple of months ago, what's going to happen when the stuff really gets hard? I said it last week. I said it last week now. I said it's amazing, but it is sad for the people that are supposed to be having hope. They are the ones with no hope. Amen. Yeah, I'm talking about us. We're the one that's supposed to have hope. We're the one that's supposed to be giving hope, and we don't have no hope for ourselves. Listen, y'all, we can't give something that we don't have ourselves. Listen, I can give it, but it won't be authentic and it won't mean nothing. But when I talk about or when I say something from my experience and from what I know, it carries a different tone. It carries a different meaning. It don't just come across just as something, but it comes across with power. Why? Because I know that God is the keeper. I know that God is the healer. I know that God is the way maker. I know that God is a God that can turn what least things to be impossible. Yeah. And then as a writer as he's saying, speaking futuristic, all of a sudden, Jesus comes into the conversation. Come on. Yes. Come on. All right. As the writer is saying what he said, all of a sudden, Jesus comes into the conversation. There it is in verse 10. It says, be still. And know that I am God. In other words, what Jesus said, he said, listen, bro. Listen, sis. Listen, partner. Listen, relax. That's what he said. He said, relax. Come. In other words, relax. Hey, calm down. You testifying that you knew who I was, and you saw what was to come, and something began to stir on the inside of you. But guess what? Be calm. Chill out. Just relax. He said, be still and know that I am God. In other words, he said, stop fighting. Because why would God tell the writer to stop fighting? Because it was at that moment he was fighting, trying to figure out if God was really God. In other words, he was so focused on what was going on around him that he forgot about the God that created him. That's what some of us is today. I hate to say it, but that's what some of us is today. We fighting God. Wait a minute, Pastor, I ain't fighting God. Yeah, we fight God. Because God is saying, I got this. But we start saying, no, you don't. God is saying, hey, it's in my hand. Put it in my hand and leave it alone. No, you don't got it. Huh? Because God, if you had it. Come on. Can I tell you? God, if you had it, the government would have shut down. God, if you had it, he would have walked out on me. God, if you had it, my child would be locked up in jail. God, if you had it, I would have kids by now. God, if you had it, I would not be in my right mind. God, if you had it, I would be at home getting some sleep with my feet kicked up. But God said, just because you ain't manifesting yet, that don't mean that I ain't got it in control, baby. Yeah, that's what he said. If you had it. God jumped in and said, he said, listen, stop. That's a command, y'all. He said, be still. That's right. Yeah. Listen, when he said be still, that means don't stop doing that. You keep on working. When God said be still, what he said is that, listen, shut your mouth. Put down your weapons. Close your mouth. And begin to really see me in the midst of all this. When you don't see me working, I'm still working. When you can't feel me working, I'm still working. If you need an example of this, now I move because I don't know what I'm eating, but I move. If you really need an example, Paul tells us in 2 Corinthians. Paul says, for Christ's sake, I will delight in in insults, in hardships, and in persecutions, and in difficulties. Paul says, he said, listen now, for when I am weak, then I am strong. Paul tells us, he says, when I've gotten to the end of my rope, God comes in and God reassures me and God reminds me that, hey, even though you're weak, I'm still strong. Even though the cares of this world, the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you feel like that you can't get through, listen, relax. Because now that you're done, now watch me work. Watch me walk. Now that I'm done, God said, now watch me work. Let me do what I need to do. Listen, church, David said this: God, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into the heavens, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there you are there. If even there shall thy hand lead me and thy right hand shall uphold me, God, I can't go nowhere that you ain't there. God, I can't be in any situation and you not be there. Listen, church, like I said last week, there's going to be some dark days ahead. But make sure that you are reminded and make sure that you know that God is in the midst of it. God is still working behind the scenes when you can't see him working. He's still working. Calm your fears, calm your heart, because God is right where he's always been, in the midst of it. God is in the midst of it all. When you find yourself going through, remember this: God is in the midst of this, and he's working it out for your good. And I'll close with this. There's a song by Fred Hammond and the United Temps. And I want you to listen to the words of this song. It says, "I'm the midst of it all. When your life is hurting. I'm in the midst of it all. When you feel so undeserved. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. I'm right here. Call on my name. I'm in the midst of it all. Please don't worry. I'm in the midst of it all." Then it says, I'm in the midst of it all. When trouble is all around you. I'm in the midst of it all when you feel like you will not make it through. Don't be afraid. Just know that I will come to your aid. Because I'm in the midst of it all. Amen. Then the leader says, he said, trust in his word. Don't let your heart be troubled. I need you to know that God is here. Because he's in the midst of it all when your heart is aching. He's in the midst of it all when your faith is shaken. He's in the midst when you cry, just feel his embrace. He's in the midst of it all, wiping your tears that fall down your face. God is in the midst of it all, and he said, please don't worry, because I'm in the midst of it all.